Hey everybody, good evening. Today is Wednesday, September 28th, 2022. This is Ben Capozzi with Broad Shoulders Farm in beautiful Halifax County, Virginia. USDA Grow Zone 7B, right on the cusp, almost 8. I just wanted to talk real quickly today. I had a moment. This will be a short video, hopefully, about productive fence lines and one of my productive fence line projects, and just a little bit about my experience working with Goosefoot or lamb's quarters. If you're interested in that sort of thing, that's the sort of thing that's coming up next. So stay tuned. This awesome tool is a ditch blade that I got at the big box store. And I love this thing. I've been using it quite a bit since I bought it this spring, and it's great. And right now I'm using it to go along this fence line here and chop up all this lamb's quarters or goosefoot. I can't remember exactly the name of it, but it's Chenopodium something or other. I'll put it in here on the video. I'll look it up afterwards. It's related to amaranth and spinach, and you can definitely see, I think spinach, you can definitely see the amaranth part when you look at these mature seed heads. You can eat these, you can eat the leaves. They're not really my favorite, but you know, it's doable. These grow really well here. They weren't originally up here in the orchard area, but they came with a big load of dirt that my father-in-law brought up here from elsewhere on the farm, and then there was this explosion. If I can find the video, I'll link to it, but if not, just trust me. And it got bigger and bigger every year, and I kind of encouraged it because it's pretty cool. It's amazing that these little seeds will grow up to be a 6, maybe even a 7-foot tall plant with a very thick woody stem in one season. If my poultry liked it more, it would be an amazing crop to grow. This is hard, this is woody. I've seen them bigger and thicker than this. But like I just said, if my poultry like them. Unfortunately, they are not the first choice of anyone. Not the ducks, not the chickens, not the geese. If anything, I have noticed that the critters that really like it are any poultry that is in a brooder and doesn't have access to fresh greens. And I'm wondering if by bringing fresh greens to more and more fresh goosefoot greens to more and more generations of poultry, if we raise them here, that might be a way to help them develop more of a taste for them and have them become more palatable. I mean, they don't taste bad. I mean, I don't know the taste buds of poultry, but I can't imagine they taste bad. So anyhow, I am clearing these out though. They seed like crazy. They're still easy to manage. You can mow them down when in a small stage. Right now, they're all along there. Sorry. And along here. This is a productive fence line project that I started. I really like to not just have a fence. I like to have it planted with something along the side of it, like grapes or espalier, a fruit tree against it or something. Like to grow peas alongside it in the spring and in the fall. That was my hope for this area right here. You may recognize this area as the potato patch. I kind of gave up on it later in the season. I got a little bit of harvest, but that's another video. But right now I'm just letting the waterfowl cruise in here and destroy everything all over again. Especially this side over here, the crabgrass kept coming back here. And if you really want to get rid of crabgrass, you need to let the waterfowl trample something and eat it down to the nothingness for a season or two. So I'm just granting them full access in here. The potatoes were okay. They got kind of set back by the guineas constantly getting in here and then running around and trampling because they couldn't figure out how to get out. I finally figured out what was going on there. The guineas tend to roost on the roofs of these hoop houses for the ducks, and every morning when they jump off, they would fly into here, and then they couldn't be smart enough to do that and fly back out. So they would literally spend their whole day in here. I would open the gate. They still couldn't get out. Some I had to rescue after 2 or 3 days before they died of exhaustion. I'll talk about the guineas more in another video, but be that as it may, this whole project came about because I wanted to find a way to provide more fresh greens for the poultry in late winter and in early spring. And the idea was to plant season appropriate crops like radish, like daikon or kale, or dwarf Essex or rape. I hate that that's the name of that plant. It's kind of crazy to me to talk about it. I was planting rape, but anyhow, that's what it was. Turnips for turnip greens, etc. Rutabaga. All those things in here, they bust up the soil, and they would provide good, delicious, nice, cold, hardy greens for the poultry to have. But of course, if you just plant them in here, they'll get obliterated at every stage of development. So the idea was to take a blanket, a net of poultry wire, and bring it down here like half of a tent, pin it to the ground down here, sow all the seeds on the inside, and as they germinated, they would come and grow up through the fence, and they could be noshed on by the geese without actually destroying the roots of the plant. And that's exactly what happened. I know over the course of the season, I took some videos I probably put up on Instagram. I don't know that I made a formal video here about it. If I did, I'll link to it. But it was great, and it lasted for a little while until those plants got overtaken by, hi Gerhardt, hi buddy, until those plants got overtaken by things like the goosefoot and horse nettle and some other things. You know, the plantain I'm fine with that. But anyhow, so what I'm doing now is taking all of this up and coming through with the ditch blade and just chopping all this down right now. And what I'll do is I will gather it all up and put it in my cart, and I will take it over to the retirement run, where the retirement run hens can just chow on all these seeds forever, ever. While their new digs are getting established, they're a little short on fresh greens. So let's feed them some delicious quinoa-like seeds. So that's where all these are going. But I think this in general has been a success. What I'd like to do is I'll get this cleared out, and then I would like to come in and throw more hay down to really kind of suppress everything and make a nice bed for the spring. But it's going to rain here over the weekend, a decent amount, not a downpour right now, but a decent amount, enough to make it perfect for throwing some broadcast seeds out and letting them germinate. So I may decide to just do that. Those boys like it. They're eating those seed heads. So I may do that. Like I said, cheat a little bit and not worry about doing the weed suppression with the mulch this whole time, but just crowd it all out with tons of kale and daikon radish and turnip, anything here that will germinate and persist through the winter. So we'll see, but that's what's going on. If you have any other questions about working with goosefoot or lamb's quarters, or you like this idea for a productive fence, or you have questions, comments, concerns, or helpful critique, please post comment. I would love to make my systems better and more sustainable. I'm going to get quiet here real quick. Just listen to them eating. I mean, if you hear all those little snaps, that's the geese destroying more and more of the crabgrass for me. Sorry, wiregrass. I don't know why I called it crabgrass. Wiregrass. Which they pretty much eliminated, the poultry have eliminated elsewhere, certainly in the productive areas. But it's amazing how quickly it'll come back if you don't establish that area for other stuff. Anyhow, that's what's what. I'm hanging out here with Gerhardt and Bart and this little a-hole. So that's where we're at. You can follow More Adventures of the Farm at Broad Shoulders Farm on Facebook and Instagram. I hope that you and those you care for are healthy and well, and they please continue to stay that way. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.